City of Stevens Point Common Council meeting, recorded December 16, 2024.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. I see Kirk Yenter has joined us online. Could you please take the roll?
Christianson.
Here.
Guthrie.
Here.
Hemer.
Here.
Broderick.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Steinmetz.
He's excused.
Okay. Kneebone.
Here.
Chuda.
Here.
Lang.
Here.
Boozy.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
Okay, if you could all please stand with me and we'll join together in our salute to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first of all, it's probably quite obvious I'm not Mayor Wiesa. The mayor's not with us this evening, so he was unable to be here. He did he let me know and asked me if I could chair the meeting then, so I'll proceed as typical. Mayor's opening remarks, I don't have any, but he did ask me to express gratitude to our retiree that's coming up. He did have a chance to mention it last week during committee meetings, but Carrie Freeberg, after decades of serving this community, tomorrow will be her last day. And so he did ask me to let everyone know. I know this gets a little wider viewership than the committee meetings, and she has been much appreciated and will be missed. So did want to start and mention that as well. The next item on our agenda for number 3, persons who wish to address the mayor and council on specific agenda items other than a public hearing must register their request at this time. Those who wish to address the common council during a public hearing are not required to identify themselves until the public hearing is declared open by the mayor. And item number 4. So we don't have any non-agenda items. We have a couple of agenda items. Oh, item number 4, those are, I'm just looking down, that is those that, it's a non-agenda item. So, Aline Sikosh?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Good evening. Aline Sikosh, 545 Franklin Street in Stevens Point. It's been a busy election year in Stevens Point. I wanted to express my gratitude to City Clerk Yenter and her team who orchestrated 2 primaries and 2 elections in 2024. As a poll worker for many years, I appreciate the significant resources expended to coordinate polling locations and election workers successfully. I think voting is very important, and it is great to see integrity as part of the election process.
Absolutely. And I would second all of that wholeheartedly. Carrie's done an absolutely outstanding job, and those are obviously stressful and can sometimes be complicated times, and we've navigated those waters very, very well. We do have one other person that would like to speak this evening, Susan Pagel.
Hello, my name is Susan Pagel, and I wanted to introduce myself. I'm going to be running for City Clerk to replace Carrie Yenter. I've worked with Carrie Yenter for 26 years and Carrie Freeberg as well. I've been with the Treasurer's Office for 26 years, and I've lived in the city also that long. I would appreciate your votes. I don't know what else to say about myself, but I have 2 grown children, and I've lived in Stevens Point for 32 years, and the city is very important to me. I also have great integrity in my work. I create the tax bills in the city treasurer's office, along with a lot of other duties that are kind of behind the scenes and no one really sees, but I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Susan. All right. Alder Kneebone has something she'd like to share as well.
I just want to thank
everybody involved with getting the city decorated for the holidays. Everything looks just so nice. Thank you all.
Okay, and any other alders have anything they'd like to share? If not, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Item number 5. First of all, are there any items that any alderperson would like to have pulled from the consent agenda for separate consideration? Hearing none, then a motion to approve that would be in order.
So moved.
We have a motion by Alder Broderick to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second? Second by Alder Morrow. All in favor of approval of our consent agenda indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed would be no. And that passes unanimously. We then get all the way to item number 7 on page 129.
I think we got 6.
Oh, we got 6? Oh, the public hearing. Yep. Public hearing and action on the request of the City of Stevens Point to adopt the Stevens Point Historic Preservation Plan consistent with Chapter 22.06, Parent 3, Parent 2, Parent A. Adam Kuhn is here to present to us tonight, so we'll give you the microphone.
Right. Appreciate it, members of the council. So included in the packet is the full 100 and some odd pages of the proposed historic preservation plan. The memorandum included in the packet kind of summarizes more from a 30,000-foot view of what the purpose of the plan is. This has been a project that's been in the works for the last year and a half. Appreciate a lot of members of the council who I had a chance to have one-on-one conversations with early on in the process, since it so happens to be that a lot of our historic inventory lies within so many aldermanic districts. But appreciate the work that you folks have had in communicating ideas and thoughts to me as it relates to this preservation plan. Appreciate members of our Historic Preservation Commission for spending probably a good handful of meetings now reviewing the draft plan and doing some fine tuning. And lastly, just want to appreciate members of the public who's been involved every step of the way. There's so many that I could say, so I'm not going to name any in particular, but the work from folks in our community has been really wonderful to get this to the finish line. So included in the packet is the plan. It's broken down essentially into 8 broad topic areas that each have influence into the umbrella that is preservation planning. So that's really the meat of the document, as I like to say, is that goals, objectives, and policies chapter, as well as the implementation chapter, really outlining what we want to do as a community and how we're going to get it done. So our Historic Preservation Commission late last month and our Plan Commission early this month recommended approval of the plan, and be happy to take any questions after the public hearing.
Is there a motion to approve the plan?
I will move to approve.
We have a motion by Alder Kneebone. Is there a second? Second by Alder Lang. Discussion. First, I guess I would just like to express my appreciation for Adam. I am a member of the Historic Preservation Commission as well, and when we got quoted $50-some thousand to have this plan done, most of us just about dropped our teeth. And Adam said, I can do it. And I think not only did he do it, I think the quality of work that he did was probably surpassed what we would have gotten from any consultant. The amount of time that he's taken and the amount of people and meetings that he's had and information that he's gathered resulted in, I think, an outstanding document. And I know he spent a lot of hours outside of regular work hours working on this. And so I wanted to note that too and just express my appreciation for a job incredibly well done.
Appreciate it.
Any questions or comments by any of the other alders? Hearing none, now this will need to be a roll, right?
And you have
We
to
need the
ask
public hearing
since it's
first.
a public hearing.
It is a public hearing. So the public hearing is open.
I'd like to say, I really appreciate this too, as somebody who's looking forward to implementing some of these goals, some of these objectives that I find in here. This is just a really well done document, and I appreciate the guidance that you have provided to us here.
So our public hearing is open. Public hearing is open. And our third time, a public hearing is open. Seeing no takers, the public will close the public hearing. And it gets to the commission, to the committee.
I would just like to read the quote on, I think it's page 7. This plan is really important, and it's very well done. Kudos to the staff and everyone involved. It is said that, at its best, preservation engages the past in a conversation with the present over a mutual concern for the future. It helps us to know where we came from, to chart where we want to go in the future. Thank you very much.
Anyone else on the council? Hearing none, we'll take the vote. Clerk Yenter, would you take the vote, please?
Christianson,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
Kiemer,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Kneebone,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
And that passes. That'll bring us to item number 8. No, we're back to 7, page 129 in our packet. Adoption of the Housing Affordability Report. We get to hear Adam again. Adam, would you please share some more of your wisdom?
I wanted to say wisdom. I don't want to speak too highly. So yeah, next thing is the Housing Affordability Report. As folks on the council know, this is a statutory requirement for communities, I believe, above either 10,000 or 10,000 in population, where we have to do this yearly Housing Affordability Report, ultimately outlining ways that we as a community can reduce the cost of new construction by 20%. As folks can understand, and as what's included in the packet, a lot of those factors that contribute to housing construction are outside of our control, right? Cost of materials, cost of labor. So needless to say, this plan outlines some recommendations that we as a community can do to help lower the total project cost. So some of the recommendations include some regulatory reform through our zoning ordinance, tweaking the approval process, tweaking permit fees as situations arise where it's appropriate. So all in all, I think the memorandum I included railed a little bit on the effectiveness of the act and the statutory requirement, but needless to say, I think it really fosters a good community conversation each and every year about ways that we can try to improve the affordability of housing here in our city. So full housing affordability reports in the packet, and happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the committee for our council? Hearing none, then we have a motion to approve would be in order.
Motion so moved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Alder Morrow,
Second.
second by Alder Burr. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take the vote.
Morrow,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Kneebone,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Kiemer,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
Christianson.
Aye. Okay, and that passes as well. We're now down to item number 8, page 163 of our packet, a request to enter into a donation waiver agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for a curb ramp replacement project along State Highway 66 and US Highway 10 East. I'm hoping we have our director on his way.
I saw Scott here, so he's...
I'm glad somebody woke you up. All right. let us know what this all entails.
Absolutely. So what I hopefully others have captured in the memo that was there, the Department of Transportation, WSDOT, this is, I think, the second project in the state that they've entered into that are looking to do a complete, rehaul of the corridor, Highway 60 and Highway 10 from municipal boundary to municipal boundary, replacing approximately 300, I think it's closer to 350, I couldn't remember the exact number, curb ramps to bring them up to ADA compliance. So what they're otherwise looking for us to do is partner with them in such cases, because in many cases there's constraints within there. In order to get some things to work out, to get the actual slopes right and such to meet the ADA requirements, they're going to need additional property outside the existing right-of-way, which is really not affecting the city proper. But what they are in need of is some temporary limited easements, approximately 14 of them, I believe. So that they can actually grade beyond there, so they can make all the changes they need to in the right-of-way, but they're going to need to grade that off there, so we don't have, lips and stuff or sets, so make sure everything works out nice. So they're looking for various locations. Now, the WSDOT is required to calculate it. I don't know what their minimum threshold is, but all of these 14 locations meet the minimum state threshold for compensation, but what they're asking us to do is if we would just sign a waiver of donation to partner with them in this case and donate those TLEs. Since they are only temporary, we really lose nothing other than just the temporary disturbance of the soils that still reseed and put back to its current condition. So I think it's a great opportunity. Like I said, they're the second in the state to otherwise do this. I honestly don't know. I forget what the total cost of this project. It's a whole lot of money. $7,000 is a good way to partner with them, in my opinion.
Okay. Any questions from the council for the director?
There are also personal residences and some public
yes, there are.
entities, like the Cemetery Association, that are also included in this.
Correct, and things are starting to go out. In fact, if you drive, I know, like at Clark Street and stuff like that right now on Main Street, you'll see a number of stakes out there. So their consultant is out there at the moment trying to stake out these various locations so people can see what the impacts of those are as they try to require the real estate. The project is currently slated for 26. I know they were trying to get some funding together, get it advanced into next year. I don't know if that's going to be feasible with real estate acquisition, but they've completed their plat, and now they're trying to do acquiring all those TLEs and whatnot, so they're ready to go with the project. So,
will WSDOT be contacting the individual property owners anytime soon?
I don't really know what it is, but they're probably not WSDOT directly. I forget who they're using as far as a consultant. HDR, I believe, was the consultant on the project for the acquisition. Don't quote me on that one, but they had a consultant that was putting some things together and reaching out to people.
I do know we had some panicked property owners, and so it'd be kind of nice if they had some sense of what was happening on the big stakes all of a sudden showing up in their front yard. So I'm hoping some communication takes place fairly soon.
Yes, and unfortunately I just don't know that, but I can make a phone call and see what's going on.
Okay, that would be good. Alder Kiemer.
Thank you. Yeah, just to clarify, out of the 300 plus replacements, only 14 or so require additional right-of-way? Is that the numbers you have?
Well, only 14 of them impact city property related to this. And in each case that it impacts city-owned property, which of course is even different than, say, the RDA, which we could always look at. I think they actually have some fee interest desires for what they own. But as far as what is actually owned by the city proper, it's 14 locations, and it's only temporary limited easement. They don't need to acquire any property from us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. As you explained to me earlier today, a lot of it is just because the sidewalk will be lowered in order for the ramp to meet the new accessibility requirements. And so as the sidewalk level gets changed, they'll come in and then grade the existing yard so it meets the sidewalk, so you don't have a lip from the sidewalk up into the person's yard. It'll gradually slope.
That is correct, yes.
All right, any other questions? Then motion to approve would be in order.
Motion so moved.
Alder Kiemer, you beat him by just a hair, so we'll give you the motion.
Second.
Second by Alder Morrow. Clerk, please call the roll.
Christianson.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Kiemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Kneebone,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
All right, and that passes unanimously as well. Item number 9 is a resolution establishing alternate in-person absentee voting location. Clerk Yenter, do you want to speak to that, please?
Yes. For this elections in 2025, we would have possibly a spring primary on February 18th, if necessary, and then the spring election being held on April 1st. This resolution would allow us to use the city conference room for in-person absentee voting, so we'd have a little larger area, as the clerk's office does not have enough room to accommodate that. So this is what the resolution is regarding use of the city conference room for early in-person voting.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Moved approval by Alder Lang
Second.
and a second by Alder Burr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Kneebone,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Beamer,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye. And item number 10, page 165 in our packet, is another resolution directing the spring primary elections, some similar to what was just described. Clerk, do you want to speak just a tiny bit further?
Sure. Now, this one is if we would happen to have 3 or more candidates for any alderperson, city clerk, treasurer, or city attorney, the office is up for election. If you would decide to have a primary, that primary would then be held on February 18th. Typically in the past, the last several years, anytime we've had 3 or more, we've held a spring primary. The deadline to decide on this is January 17th. That's why it's brought to you this evening, because before January, obviously, otherwise we'd be looking at having a special council meeting.
Right. And we appreciate not having those. So,
Yes.
So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Alder Shuda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Alder Kiemer. Any other comments or questions by the council?
This is what we've done in years past.
Yes, this is keeping with past practice. Please take vote.
Christensen,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
Beamer,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Kneebone,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
All right, and that will bring us to item number 11 on our agenda, page 166 in our packet, amendments to the 2024 budget. Comptroller, do you want to speak to that, please?
Sure. So this is, as we discussed at Finance and was approved at the Finance Committee, basically just a couple of tweaks to the 2024 budget. One is to account for the increase in hours for the permit technician and community development. So there's a budget amendment related to that. And then the other set of budget amendments is related to the overlap period that we had for the Finance Office Manager / Deputy Comptroller Treasurer position. So there's some budget amendments to add some money for those additional wages.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the council? Motion would be in order.
Move to approve.
A move to approve by Alder Kneebone. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alder Lang. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll take the vote.
Morrow,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Kneebone,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Kiemer,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye. That does exhaust our agenda. Right before we adjourn, I would just like to wish everybody a happy holiday season. Make sure you stay safe. I know there's a lot of people that out on the roads and be doing a lot of travel, so please make sure you do so safely. I know a lot of times we like to think about what we're going to get for Christmas. I think it's important to think about what we can give for Christmas as well. And a lot of times, the best things to give, the most important things in life aren't things. And so think of giving your time and think of the people that you could be spending some of that time with. So,
And our thoughts with the Madison.
yes, also, that's a good point. Thoughts and prayers heading towards Madison. That's a terrible, terrible tragedy. So with that, we have 7:25 and we stand adjourned.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.